Chapter 396, by Ning Bing. The bronze hall was deathly silent. Time seemed to have frozen as the atmosphere became very heavy. Fang Yuan was sitting cross-legged on the ground with the rank 6-second aperture goo floating in front of him. Immortal goo refinement had succeeded. But Fang Yuan's attention was not at this immortal goo. He turned his head with difficulty and gazed at Bai Ning Bing, his eyes revealing his deep doubts. Bai Ning Bing, who had already recovered his male body, was holding an ice blade and was expressionlessly standing behind him. Tai Ruanin slowly walked over and fixed her gaze at Fang Yuan, her expression showing both grief and joy. Fang Yuan, you had never in your wildest imagination expect this day to occur, right? Fang Yuan seemed like he did not hear anything and kept on looking at Bai Ning Bing. Bai Ning Bing looked at Fang Yuan. With the recovery of his male body, his height had increased. He was wearing a snow-white robe. His silver hair was floating in the air, and his eyes shone with deep coldness. He was like a glacier, extremely cold. You didn't expect it, right? That you would finally be defeated by me. Bai Ning Bing indifferently smiled while looking at Fang Yuan. Since my resurrection back on Qingmao Mountain, I had been pondering on how to recover my male body. In the days spent with you, I was firmly controlled by you as a chess piece that could be moved at your will. You are not the strongest enemy in my life, but I have to admit that you are absolutely the most terrifying one. Fang Yuan, you are someone with innate talent for scheming, and with your vicious methods, you are a very formidable person. But I, Bai Ning Bing, am also not an ordinary character. How could I become someone subordinate? Humph. The more you controlled me and the more you exploited me, the more I thought of ways to escape, to make a comeback and counterattack. But the Yanggu is with you, and you can cause it to self-destruct with just a thought. Thus, I did not act recklessly but racked my brains to think of countermeasures until one day, I got a superb inspiration and thought of a way. Actually, the scene of you voluntarily hand over the goo had already happened once on Qingmao Mountain. Hiki, right? That is to repeat the scene back on Qingmao Mountain. The time of my self-destruction will be the time you use the Yanggu. With this as the start, I began to plot secretly. The corner of Bai Ning Bing's lips slowly spread into a smile. I would self-destruct, but it would naturally not be actual self-destruction since there was a chance you might not use Yanggu. So, I chose ice crystal goo. Fang Yuan's expression was dim as water. Back at Shangclan City, Bai Ning Bing chose ice path. Among the ice path, there were 3 transformation-type goo: frost demon goo, snow fairy goo, and ice crystal goo. Wei Yang had strongly recommended Bai Ning Bing to choose snow fairy goo. Snow fairy goo was suitable for female goo masters while ice crystal goo was suitable for males. Bai Ning Bing, however, chose ice crystal goo as a female, which had caused Wei Yang to feel great regret. Hiki, you finally get it. Bai Ning Bing laughed. That's right. I originally chose ice crystal goo not because I was peeved, but because snow fairy goo changed the body to a snow fairy with clear appearance that could not be hidden. However, if I turn into ice crystal and use ice explosion goo with it, it could form a majestic scene that is extremely similar to the self-destruction of northern dark ice soul physique. You have seen it just now. Didn't it deceive you? Humph. If I was not concentrating on refining goo, I would definitely discover the peculiarity. How could you have succeeded so easily then? Fang Yuan scoffed. Bai Ning Bing, however, nodded her head with a serious expression. Right. You are very meticulous, observing everything to the finest details. When I thought of this method, I also felt it would be strange, and there would be a great chance of failure. In fact, there was a change in circumstances that made me almost give up this plan. The change Bai Ning Bing spoke of was none other than poison Valgu. A great man knows when to yield and when not. My objective was to rely on the poison vow to accomplish my goal. So what if I would be used for some time? Bai Ning Bing's eyes turned vague as he recalled. However, the developments after that made me realize that poison Valgu was not reliable. The poison vow between you and Shang Yizi, despite there being a very ingenious flaw, I felt that you were too confident. And I had also secretly investigated the contract with Bai Clan. The rumors, however, were still leaked out, making me feel even more uncertain. One thing that I have learned about you is that you make the best preparations for everything, calculating even the worst outcomes. Thus, I could not help but consider this situation. What if you were not restricted by poison Valgu? What would I do then? I knew that if that was the case, I had already gotten into a desperate situation. I was restricted by the poison vow while you were not. I would become your chess piece which you could use or kill with no way for me to retaliate. Just relying on my own power, I would never be able to escape this predicament. But there was one person who could help me at Shangclan City. Speaking of this person, I still need to thank you for the introduction. Bai Ningbing smiled mockingly. He thought of the first meeting with Dr. Su Shou. It was during the banquet organized by Shang Yanfei. As thanks to Feng and Bai for escorting Shang Xinci to Shang Clan City, Shang Yanfei invited Dr. Su Shou to treat Fang Yuan's disfigured face, and to make Bai Ningbing give up, Fang Yuan intentionally asked her to go together. After Bai Ningbing met Dr. Su Shou with her real appearance, Dr. Su Shou's attitude immediately changed into extreme warmth and compassion. Dr. Su Shou was one of the 4 great doctors of Southern Border and had a peculiarity of being attracted to appearance. She was extremely fond of handsome men and beautiful women. As long as their appearance was extraordinary, she would give treatment for free. If the appearance was ugly, she would loathe them and would not treat them even if they gave more money. Bai Ningbing asked her about the transformation of yin and yang, and with the reply he got, he was even more aware of how important the Yanggu in Fang Yuan's possession was. But at the same time, Bai Ningbing also got to know Dr. Su Shou. Before leaving, Dr. Su Shou had made a serious promise that no matter what problems he faced, he could go find her. Cough, cough. Fang Yuan coughed out a mouthful of blood. The ice blade had pierced through his heart, but with the help of healing goo, he was able to hang on to life. However, the chilly aura of the ice blade was slowing down the speed of his blood flow, and the numbness the cold brought was spreading to his whole body. Right now, however, these injuries were minor details. The person you are speaking, is it Dr. Su Shou? He. You are Fang Yuan indeed. You are right. Bai Ningbing praised. That be asterisk tch. Fang Yuan cursed but also had new doubts. But didn't you guys only meet once? Wait, there was also the second time. Fang Yuan suddenly recalled something while talking. At Shang Clan City, Bai Ningbing and Dr. Su Shou had met for a second time. That time was when Bai Ningbing lost to Yin Tu by just a little and suffered heavy injuries while also losing her vital goo. She went to Dr. Su Shou's place to receive treatment and to recuperate. Don't tell me. Fang Yuan seemed to have thought of something and his gaze immediately turned to Bai Ningbing as if it was the first time he was seeing this cold and handsome young man. Bai Ningbing smiled, his blue eyes shining eerily. It seems you have guessed it. That's right. I intentionally lost to Yin Tuesday. Losing a vital goo is nothing. Exchanging it for a chance to evade your suspicions, isn't it a profitable transaction? At that time, I decided to gamble. Bai Ningbing went to Dr. Su Shou's place and relying just on his intuition, he decided to take a risk. He told the truth honestly to Dr. Su Shou. Dr. Su Shou sympathized with his experience and did her best to free him from Fang Yuan's demonic claws. Bai Ningbing asked her if there was a way to dispel poison vow. Dr. Su Shou replied that she could not dispel poison vow. But there was a way which could get rid of poison vow's binding. She recalled from her memories, once, when she was young and ignorant, she was deceived by her sect's junior brother into using poison vow to make an oath saying they would never abandon each other. Later, she used this method to get rid of the poison vow. Bai Ningbing asked, "What is it?" Dr. Su Shou's gaze turned grave and said, "To live, one must die. Once the poison vow activated, it would cause the death of the vow maker." Dr. Su Shou was a healing goo master, and her solution was to intentionally let the poison vow activate and cause the goo master's death. The poison would be removed and then revive the goo master. This method is a forceful removal. The absolute majority of healing goo masters cannot do it even if they thought of it. I am able to barely accomplish it because of the unique legacy from my teacher. But even so, this has a 1 in 3 chance of failure. If it fails, it will mean death. Think it through. Dr. Su Shou gave a final warning. Bai Ningbing decided on the spot to use this method. With Dr. Su Shou's help, he got rid of the poison vow fortunately, without the poison vow's binding. Bai Ningbing got in touch with Tai Clan, and Tai Ruan Nan was able to learn the truth that person in front of her was Fang Yuan and not Fang Zheng. At the same time, she also understood the event that occurred on Qingmao Mountain. To deal with Fang Yuan, Bai Ningbing and Tai Ruan Nan launched a secret cooperation. We had used iron cabinet goo and chi flow goo around an area and planned to create the scene of the self-destruction. Unfortunately, you refused to rescue her. I could only gather a group and hurry to Sancha Mountain to make new plans. Tai Ruanan spoke. The scene of Bai Ningbing being trapped for so many days by Tai Clan's 4 old-timers looked like Tai Clan's reprisal because of Bai Ningbing killing a Tai Clan's goo master in the inheritance, but in truth, it was all a scheme to deal with Fang Yuan. However, Fang Yuan fought 1 against 7 and slaughtered Tai Ruan Nan's group, which caused Tai Mu Bai to take the stage. Tai Ruan received Tai Mu Bai's teachings, cultivating and patiently waiting for news from Bai Ning Bing. This was also the reason why she did not take the initiative to look for Fang Yuan, although she had extreme hatred towards him. However, Fang Yuan made an impressive move that shook everybody. He took control of the whole situation after entering Three Kings' inheritance. Tai Mu Bai's death caused Bai Ning Bing to keep silent and conceal himself even deeper. Using Fang Yuan's trust, he controlled the dog beasts. With the death of the land spirit, he was unable to suppress the situation anymore and the pressure on him increased. However, at the same time, he felt his whole body relaxed as he was free from the land spirit's surveillance. He was still not at ease though, thus he intentionally gave way for Yin Jun to probe Fang Yuan. Sure enough, like he expected, Feng Tianyu was sent out. This proved the land spirit had truly died. Bai Ning Bing was inwardly happy and again maneuvered the situation to make a way in for Tai Ruan and Tai Clan's 4 old-timers. The reason Tai Ruan came to the main hall by herself was also because of this. Fang Yuan, I advise you to obediently surrender. Outside, my Tai Clan's enslavement path Grandmaster Tai Bai Chi is controlling the dog beasts and obstructing the group of experts. Outside the main hall, there are Tai Clan's 4 old-timers who are using Iron Cabinet Goo and Chi Flow Goo to confine the space so that no one can infiltrate here. Surrendering is your only way out. Tai Ruan walked over and held the second aperture Goo in her hand while pronouncing Fang Yuan's fate. Fang Yuan was silent. Chapter 397. The battle has just begun. There truly are uncountable geniuses in this world. After being solemn for a while, Fang Yuan raised his head and sighed. Bai Ning Bing. What a Bai Ning Bing. I underestimated you and fell victim to your schemes. It was a beautiful victory. Your plan was flawless, while I was careless and overconfident, only thinking about the immortal goo, allowing you to succeed. It was my mistake. I'm flattered. The reason I could plot against you was due to the perfect time, place, and opportunity. If I were the one who had to refine an immortal goo while scheming against both the righteous and demonic factions, I would definitely have done worse than you. Bai Ning Bing answered seriously. But now at this point, winner takes all, and the loser loses everything. I hope you would stop your pointless struggle. Fang Yuan sneered. The reason you have not killed me yet is because of the immortal goo. You want to know its effects, and also the immortal goo recipe in my head. Now that the land spirit was dead, the blessed land was on the brink of destruction. There were loopholes everywhere, and without the heavenly power to suppress them, goo masters could use their goo freely. That is to say, Fang Yuan just had to think about it, and all his goo would self-detonate. Bai Ning Bing and Tai Ruan had no way to stop him. Tai Ruan, Tai Mu Bai, and the others died in my hands. You have to take this immortal goo back to redeem yourself, otherwise you will lose your young master position. Fang Yuan laughed sinisterly. Tai Ruan was expressionless, answering frankly. That's right. Immortal goo are unique. They are extremely important. When I bring it back, it will be an unprecedented merit. I would receive the Tai Clan goo immortals' nurturing and reward. As for the recipe to refine immortal goo, right now only you know about it. If I can contribute it to the clan, I would immediately become Tai Clan young clan leader. When I ascend to the position of clan leader, I will be like Lord Tai Mu Bai, upholding justice and order. After all these things, I have learnt. To uphold justice, one needs to have great strength as well as a strong force. Only in this way can I repay Lord Tai Mu Bai's teachings and allow him to feel at peace in the afterlife. Saying so, Tai Ruan thought about the Tai clansman who died in Fang Yuan's hands, her eyes turning red as she felt intense fury and hatred, and also the great satisfaction of getting her revenge. She breathed in deeply, staring sharply at Fang Yuan. As for you, Gu Fang Yuan, I will not kill you. You were able to refine an immortal goo using a mortal body. Such refinement talent is truly spectacular. As long as you surrender, I will send you into the Tai Clan Demon Suppression Tower to undergo reform. In the future, when you turn over a new leaf and leave the tower, you will work for Tai Clan and contribute to the righteous path, repaying for your sins. This is the best outcome. Demon Suppression Tower. Fang Yuan squinted. You make it sound really nice. You want the immortal goo? Sure, let's make a transaction. Fang Yuan talked about the details of the transaction as he focused on the movements outside the hall. He was stalling for time. In this situation, it may seem like a dead end, but he still had one final resort. Because of refining goo, Fang Yuan's mind is tired, and he had little primeval essence left. His rank 4 all-out effort goo was not refined yet, and many beast phantoms were used up in the goo refinement process. He could not force it now. Fang Yuan was not in the best condition, while Bai Ning Bing and Tai Ruan came prepared. Furthermore, there are the 4 Tai clan old-timers outside as well as Tai Bai Chi who manipulates dog groups. Spring-Autumn Cicada was indeed the best chance he had, but it carried an enormous risk and carried the danger of dying. Unless he had no other options, Fang Yuan did not want to use it yet. My true opportunity lies in the experts waiting outside the hall. With just the dog group and Tai clan's 4 old-timers, they cannot block them all forever. As long as they fight their way in here, the situation would be completely overturned. Fate worked in mysterious ways. Not long ago, Fang Yuan was using all his methods to block the experts outside, but now he could not wish more for them to fight their way into the hall. This accursed Tai clan, the mastermind, is them all along. Tai clan's old clan leader Tai Mu Bai came personally. What attracted him? We should have guessed. Tai clan is a super clan, but don't think of devouring this alone. The immortal treasure belongs to all of us. In the intense battlefield, everyone was excited. Looking at the bronze hall, many Gu Masters' eyes were burning with passion. The purple-colored light barrier covered the entire bronze hall. Tai clan's 4 old-timers were at all 4 directions, guarding it securely. As for Tai Bai Chi, he was standing at the door of the hall, looking down at all the Gu Masters as he manipulated the dog group. He was an old man. His head was full of white hair, and he had a third eye on his forehead, shining brightly. He was a rank 5 enslavement path Gu Master, a Tai clan elder, and was once Tai Mu Bai's capable general. Under Tai Mu Bai's orders, he came out of cultivation, coming to the faraway San Cha Mountain. Right now, Tai Bai Chi was smiling as he looked at the battlefield. The dog group was under his command, unleashing several times the fighting strength they had compared to before. Tai Bai Chi did not mind the losses, blocking all the experts outside. This old fool is really irritating. Mo Wu Tian's hair was flying in the air as he breathed roughly. Before him, Dog Emperor Ba Huang was bathed in blood, in a condition worse than Mo Wu Tian. But soon, the healing goo on it worked, and under the milky white-colored light, it began to heal rapidly. Mo Wu Tian tried to attack while there was a chance, but a group of green Hua dogs charged in. This again. Mo Wu Tian gritted his teeth, forced to kill this group of reinforcements. While it had the chance, Ba Huang managed to heal most of its injuries and became revitalized again. Compared to the time Bai Ning Bing sent out the Dog Emperor and did not have the energy to control it, Tai Bai Chi had a much easier time. He manipulated the entire battlefield and controlled the situation, showing the strength of the enslavement path fully. On the other hand, Xiao Meng was also receiving great attention from Tai Bai Chi. This won't do. The immortal treasure is going to be taken by Tai clan. Xiao Meng was anxious and hateful, but Dog Emperor Ing Ming was blocking his path, not allowing him to pass through. Bastard, you forced me. Xiao Meng growled, flying into the sky. The sky already had one huge hole, tens of kilometers in diameter, as the outside showed the sky of the main world, full of clouds, and was a bright sunny day. Xiao Meng flew out of the hole, raising his hands. Rank 4, gather light goo. Large amounts of sunlight gathered on his palms. The light turned into a ball, flawless and huge. Xiao Meng was like an ant carrying a huge rice bowl. Rank 5, extreme light goo. The glorious light of the immemorial era gathered into the ball and caused a qualitative change, as the entire ball was infected with the glory of the immemorial times. Rank 5, river under the sun goo. The light ball exploded, turning into an overwhelming water of light. Each drop was like a fragment of the sun, extremely bright and dazzling. Killer move, torrential light stream. The river of light rolled and crashed as it poured down on the blessed land from the hole. The light was blinding, and the waves were fierce. It turned the entire battlefield white, and everyone closed their eyes, unable to resist such a strong light. Oh no. Tai Bai Chi tried to stop it, but the light river's formation was already complete. He could only reduce its impact by a little. The grand light river was like a waterfall, crashing on the purple barrier. The barrier only lasted for a moment before shattering. As the four old-timers who sustained the barrier spurted out mouthfuls of blood, gravely injured, the light river broke the barrier and was weakened. But it continued on its way into the bronze hall. The hall was immediately broken through, and the waterfall swept towards Feng, Bai, and Tai. Bai Ningbing and Tai Ruanan's pupils shrunk as they subconsciously tried to dodge. Fang Yuan, who was waiting for an opportunity, immediately reacted and activated his primeval essence. Warp Goo. He activated this rank 5 movement goo. This goo was something he got from killing Cho Ju, the killer ghost doctor. With a swoosh, Fang Yuan vanished on the spot. The light river crashed on the floor, creating a huge hole that was about 2 meters deep. Tai and Bai dodged in time, standing at the edge of the huge hole, extremely calm. He escaped indeed. It seems he used warp goo. I think this goo came from killer ghost doctor. Tai Ruanan analyzed. We're letting him escape? Bai Ningbing looked at Tai Ruanan. You forgot about fixed star goo? Don't worry. Even if he escapes to the end of the world, Tai clans for old-timers would be able to arrest him. Let me roam around for now and expend his primeval essence and energy. It saves us some trouble. Tai Ruanan smiled lightly, her tone showing a confident attitude towards grasping the situation. After so many trials and difficulties, she had grown up a lot. Guh. Intense pain assaulted him as Fang Yuan vomited a mouthful of blood, feeling extremely dizzy. A sense of disgust almost caused him to fall face flat on the ground, feeling like his intestines were all jumbled up. Warp goo was a space path goo, tearing through space and transporting the goo master's body. The strong effect carried an equally intense backlash that Gu masters who constantly use warp goo would have their tendons entangled, their blood would flow backwards, and their joints would be dislocated. On the outside, the goo master would get uglier and uglier. No matter how nice he looked originally, he would turn hideous. He used the warp goo. One had to use other goo worms to modify his own body. But to Fang Yuan, he no longer cared. Second aperture goo will be kept safe by you guys for now. I will return this hatred a millionfold in the future. Fang Yuan quickly assessed his surroundings, realizing that although he was out of the hall, he was still a distance from the bronze hall. Large numbers of dogs came attacking, and he quickly chose to retreat. Although second aperture goo was in Tai Ruanan's hands, the control was still in Fang Yuan's hands. He refined the second aperture goo single-handedly. Now with just a thought, this goo would self-detonate. Of course, unless left without a choice, Fang Yuan would not do something so stupid. This battle has just begun. Bai Ningbing, Tai Ruanan, just you wait. He. Fang Yuan laughed sinisterly. Tou's second aperture goo. Immortal essence was needed. Otherwise, an insane amount of primeval stones were needed to replace To Fang Yuan. He could not keep this goo into his aperture. Spring-autumn cicada's pressure was high enough. If he placed another immortal goo in, Fang Yuan's aperture would explode. If an immortal goo was outside the aperture, its aura would leak, and everyone would notice. If Fang Yuan took the immortal goo and ran, he would become everyone's target, immediately being chased down by 2 rank 5, more than 10 rank 4, and countless rank 3 and 2 goo masters. Tai Ruanan has the immortal goo. She is definitely everyone's attack target. I'll let you guys compete while I watch on the sidelines, becoming the final winner in the end. Fang Yuan was resolved to retreat and recover his battle strength before finding an opportunity to strike. But heaven did not side with him. As quickly, many goo masters found out his movements and screamed, "Who is it?" Little Beast King. It seems he came out of the bronze hall. Quick, block him. He must have gotten a portion of the treasure. The voices attracted people's attention, as Fang Yuan's surrounding goo masters quickly turned around and attacked him. But the first who attacked were a small group of heavy Tai dogs. Not only was Fang Yuan obstructed by righteous and demonic goo masters, he was also specially taken care of by Tai Bai Chi. Chapter 398. So close to success, yet it was all for naught. God damn it. Fang Yuan cursed, waving his hand and summoning a golden dragon. Golden Dragon roared as it turned these heavy Tai dogs into meat paste, paving a way for him to move. Little Beast King, where do you think you're going? Hand over the immortal treasure. Yicheng rushed towards Fang Yuan. As the waves came crashing, Bone Wings Gu. Fang Yuan flapped his wings, avoiding the huge waves and flying into the sky. Little Beast King, just stay here. Ihua waved his hand and firebirds flew out towards Fang Yuan. Golden Aurora Gu. Fang Yuan's body was covered in a golden light as his speed increased, retreating quickly and leaving the firebirds behind. Oh. This huge change attracted Mo Wu Tian and Xiao Mang's attention. Xiao Mang shot out a giant hand of light, like a huge elephant, flying swiftly towards Fang Yuan trying to capture him. Fang Yuan turned at a sharp angle, narrowly avoided. But at this moment, there was a gentle sound near his ears. This sound was like a lover's whisper beside one's ear, or like the voice of one's loved ones, causing an unknowing person to feel deeply emotional and unable to focus. Mo Wu Tian's gentle feelings grew. Fang Yuan quickly broke free of it after his shock, but his movement was slowed because of this, causing the giant light hand to catch up. Oh no. It was too late to dodge. Fang Yuan could only use his goo worms to fight back, using offense as defense. Bam! The sound of a loud explosion, and the light hand was dispersed, while Fang Yuan flew in the air like a kite with its strings cut, landing towards the ground. The sound of the wind near his ears woke the unconscious Fang Yuan. Sensing that he was falling, he quickly activated his goo worm while shouting, Tai Ruan, and obtained a peerless immortal goo. She is refining it now. Mo Wu Tian and Xiao Mang's attention were instantly diverted. Immortal goo. Everyone went into a commotion as their enthusiasm surged, causing Tai Baiqi's pressure to intensify. Fang Yuan caught his breath and quickly used Wu Gui's movement goo. Large numbers of dark clouds appeared as he hid within, making his escape. But at this moment, swish, 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 swish. In the air, for chains extended out of nowhere, swift as lightning and flexible like snakes, tying Fang Yuan's four limbs. Next, the chains tightened and coiled, spreading until Fang Yuan was tied up tightly, dragged into the void. The next moment, Fang Yuan reappeared in the Bronze Hall. Tai Clan's four old-timers were at the north, south, east, and west respectively, standing around him. They were half kneeling on the ground, their right palms facing forward while their left hand gripped their right hand, activating their goo worms together. On each of their right palms, a black steel chain was extending out. Tai Clan's four old-timers' killer move, Infinite Search and Lock. At this moment, in Central Continent, Tianti Mountain, Hu Immortal Blessed Land. On top of Hundang Mountain, a competition that decided the Blessed Land's owner was at its final moments. Feng Zheng, hang in there. Victory is within reach. Lord Sky Crane's voice came from within Feng Zheng. Compared to the start, he sounded extremely tired and weak. Yes, just one opponent left. Feng Zheng gritted his teeth, his body full of sweat as it swayed, hanging on with just his determination. The great Xiao Qi Xing, was surpassed by a nobody? Xiao Qi Xing's eyes were staring wide as he looked at Feng Zheng climb, at a height beyond him. Sigh. To think that it would end up like this. Ing Shengji sighed, letting go and falling down the mountain that he was furthest from the peak. Seeing Feng Zheng's performance, he knew he had no chance of winning, thus giving up immediately. Hu Immortal Land Spirit would not let him die, of course. With a snap of her finger, Ing Shengji was transported out of the Blessed Land. Climb, continue to climb. The skin on Feng Zheng's arms and legs were torn as blood flowed down. The closer he was to the peak, the greater the vibration shocks on the soul. Feng Zheng was almost unable to think of anything. There was only the mountain peak left in his mind. As his entire potential was squeezed out, he was extremely tired, and this had greatly exceeded the limits of his body. This lad, Feng Jin Huang, was moved. Feng Zheng was obviously exhausted beyond belief, yet he seemed to have some sort of limitless energy sustaining him. Mountain peak. Mountain peak. Feng Zheng gritted his teeth. With only one thought in his mind, he climbed step by step, surpassing Feng Jin Huang and taking the lead. At this moment, he was only less than a meter from the mountain peak. Even the cute and tiny land spirit was standing at the edge of the cliff, looking down and watching the birth of her new owner. Outside the blessed land, some Gu masters who were watching started to sigh. Congrats to you, He Feng Yang. This time your immortal crane sect performed the best. If my rank 6 exquisite warp Gu was still around. Or maybe Star Shuttle Gu, fixed immortal travel Gu, or one's own movement goo, the results would be different. The goo immortals had differing attitudes. Some were congratulating, while others were sighing in pity. We were lucky, just lucky. Feng Yuan was modest, but his tone could not conceal his joy. But at this moment, a goo immortal sneered. Feng Yuan, you are going to be disappointed. This who immortal inheritance belongs to us spirit affinity house. As the immortal spoke, a change occurred in the blessed land. Feng Jin Huang shouted, and a beautiful pair of wings grew from her shoulders. This pair of wings was extremely elegant and beautiful. All sorts of lights shone on it. It was dazzling and alluring. With just one flap, Feng Jin Huang ascended easily. What? This is the legendary immortal goo Dream Wings. Dream Wings was a special immortal goo. It did not exist in the real world, but only appeared in dreams. Activating it did not require immortal essence, but the goo master's spirit and soul instead. Feng Jin Huang was only immortal. Activating the Dream Wings forcefully would cause severe damage to her soul, amnesia at best, becoming mentally retarded at worst. But the proud her had never suffered defeat since her birth. She could not allow Feng Zheng to be the sole winner right before her eyes. Even if I have to pay the heaviest price, I have to attain victory. Under Feng Zheng's shocked expression, Feng Jin Huang flew up quickly, easily surpassing him and claiming the lead once again. The Dream Wings were folded back as Feng Jin Huang stood at the side of the cliff, breathing heavily. She felt a strong dizziness from the depths of her soul, almost causing her to faint. She reached her limits, forcefully activating an immortal goo. It was not easy for Feng Jin Huang to reach this step. I actually lost. Feng Zheng stared with wide-opened eyes, dejected and upset that this moment. Feng Jin Huang was so close to the peak. In fact, her arms were already at the edge of the peak. She was one step away. I am about to win. At this moment, Feng Jin Huang forced herself to raise her head, using the last bit of strength she had. Her eyes were glowing like amber. Her beautiful appearance and her snow-white long neck was shining like jade in the blessed land's pink light. She was like a young phoenix, expanding its wings for the first time. Brilliant and glorious. At once, even goo immortals were dazed. She bit her lips, placing her arms at the edge of the cliff. Next, she used her remaining strength to drag her body up as well at the end. She rolled onto the mountain peak. She succeeded, the sole winner of this competition, the new owner of the immortal blessed land. Southern border, Sancha Mountain, Bronze Hall. Fang Yuan was tied up by the chains. Fang Yuan, we meet again. Tai Ruanin stood before Fang Yuan, laughed heartily, by Ningbing's side. It is no use, Fang Yuan. I secretly planted the fixed star goo in your left arm. With this goo to locate you, the infinite search and lock can catch you no matter where you go. Even if you escape to the edge of the world, we can still bring you back. You have lost, admit it. What? Fang Yuan lowered his head, seeing that there was a goo on his left arm. This goo was a star fragment of the immemorial era. It was 8-sided and crystal clear, giving off starlight at times, causing Fang Yuan's forearm to shine with a transparent, eerie blue light. By Ningbing. Fang Yuan howled, struggling frantically, causing the chains to make a loud clank sound. In his past life, Tai Clan's 4 old-timers used this killer move to capture Kong Ritian. To think that in this life, the same move would be used on him. Before, when Bai Ningbing was trapped by the 4 old-timers, Fang Yuan did not help her immediately. He was wary of this infinite search and lock. Once he was locked on by this goo, no matter where Fang Yuan escaped, the chains would extend from the void to capture him. But without the fixed star goo, infinite search and lock would be like a headless chicken, not a threat at all. This fixed star goo was given to me by the 4 old-timers personally, and I even spent a long time training to use it. Do you know when I planted it? It was when you injected yellow gold primeval essence to nurture my aperture. You had absolutely no idea, huh? Bai Ningbing's eyes were shining with cold mockery. This move was truly nailing the problem at its roots, crushing Fang Yuan's hopes of a reversal. Fixed star goo, good, Bai Ningbing. You are too good. Fang Yuan stared at Bai Ningbing, gritting his teeth. Tai Ruanin continued to urge, Fang Yuan, you have been locked on by infinite search and lock. You goo worms have already been sealed. and you cannot even use your primeval essence. You have no hope left. Of course, you can still will your goo worms to self-detonate, but I would advise you not to do that. You are a smart person. You should know which option benefits you the most, right? Fang Yuan lowered his head, silent. Earlier, he had activated his goo worms furiously, but infinite search and lock was famous for a reason. It was both a space path and seal path killer move. Even the rank 5 warp goo was sealed, unable to be used. It has ended, Fang Yuan. Demon Suppression Tower is your final resting place. You will spend the rest of your life there. Bai Ningbing sighed. Seeing his mortal enemy captured, he felt extremely complicated, feeling both joy and sorrow. Throughout these years, thank you for the excitement you have brought to my life. Because of your existence, it lightened up this lonely life of mine, and I became less lonely and bored. Next, I will have an even more exciting life, and you should be honored that you have been a part of it. Saying so, Bai Ningbing paid respects to Fang Yuan in an earnest and sincere expression. Chapter 399, Spring-Autumn Cicada. Fang Yuan raised his head, looking at the sky beyond the bronze hall. There was a huge hole in the blessed land sky, connecting to the outside world. From Fang Yuan's angle, he could see the sun of southern border. The sun was setting, it was near dusk, 5:45 p.m. At this time, Feng Jinhuang should have just inherited a mortal blessed land. Fang Yuan thought. In his previous life, he worked with demonic Gu immortals, attacking a mortal blessed land and taking over Dang Han Mountain. In the end, he paid a huge price, killing Feng Jinhuang and narrowly surviving. After Feng Jinhuang died, the righteous path grieved, writing the biography of Feng Jinhuang. The biography listed all the things she achieved in life, and Feng Jinhuang had 3 great opportunities in life. Her first encounter was when she was 3 years old. When she was sleeping, she obtained the immortal Gu dream wings in her dreams. The second opportunity was a mortal blessed land. On this day, at 5:30 p.m., she successfully ascended the mountain. Feng Jinhuang has the immortal Gu dream wings. The immortal inheritance is definitely hers to take. To not give her such a huge lead, I need the second aperture Gu. Unfortunately, my efforts were in vain. He sighed in his heart, but his dazed expression suddenly became resolute again. He had a chance to reverse the situation. He had not lost yet. That is because he had Spring-Autumn Cicada. Infinite Search and Lock could seal rank 5 Gu, but it could not restrict rank 6 Immortal Gu. Fang Yuan raised his head, taking a final look at Bai Ningbing and the others. There was nothing to say. This time, there was hope if he succeeded, and nothing to say if he failed. How can he be so calm? Bai Ningbing, Tai Ruanan, and the others felt something amiss. Bam! Fang Yuan self-detonated. At that moment, Spring-Autumn Cicada burst out in 2 lights, green and orange, as a mystical and profound aura spread out. All of Fang Yuan's goo worms, all his primeval essence, all his flesh and soul, all detonated. Every use of the Spring-Autumn Cicada was a great gamble. Fang Yuan was at a dead end. He bet on everything he had. After self-detonating, all the energy was injected into the Spring-Autumn Cicada. Spring-Autumn Cicada turned into a brilliant dot, carrying Fang Yuan's remaining will and tore through space, entering the most famous forbidden ground in this world, the River of Time. The Gu world had southern border, northern plains, western desert, eastern seas, and central continent. There was also one River of Time, connecting past, present, and future. That was time itself. Space and time were the basis that constructed the world. Swish, 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 the river water in the River of Time ebbed and flowed, crashing like waves. Every drop of the water of time was pale white, but over a gazillion droplets of water crashed, intertwined, collided, and spun each time, giving off a brilliant light show. In this desolate and plentiful river water, Spring-Autumn Cicada was like a roaming traveler returning home. Its wings flapped as it carried Fang Yuan's consciousness and moved against the flow. To Fang Yuan, this was the 3rd time he used Spring-Autumn Cicada. The first time, he entered the River of Time without any experience. The second time, he was forced to self-detonate. There was too little time. This time, he was mentally prepared and finally experienced the feeling of going against the tides. This feeling was so mystical and incredible. Countless light shadows, like a movie playing in reverse, appeared in his consciousness. It felt like a second passed, but it also felt like years had passed. The dangerous waves came crashing each time. Spring-Autumn Cicada quickly lost its stamina, and the energy from self-detonating was expended. It struggled and jumped into one of the droplets, vanishing. Fang Yuan blinked, and the image before him had changed. Hold on, all can be negotiated. I can promise to tell you the true path, but you must ensure my safety. I have a poison Valgu. Fang Yuan heard a familiar voice begging for his life. He looked down and saw Wang Xiao. He was stunned. As his heart pounded, his expression changed as he revealed an unconcealed joy. Ha ha ha. I succeeded again. I won the bet. I managed to rebirth. Fang Yuan spread his arms, laughing loudly. Fang Yuan's sudden performance caused him to feel shocked and suspicious. What rebirth? What succeeded? Is this guy mentally unsound? But honestly, there are lots of crazy demonic Pathgu masters. Damn it, I encountered such a maniac. Being stepped on by Fang Yuan, Wang Xiao, who was lying on the ground, thought about this and begged even louder. Ha ha ha. Fang Yuan's laughter continued. This feeling of escaping from a hopeless scenario and restarting once again was simply too good. He felt great. He first inspected his aperture. In the aperture, his vital goose spring autumn cicada was extremely weak once again. Its lustrous body had turned into wilting autumn leaves. Fang Yuan willed, and spring autumn cicada hit its body, entering a deep sleep, regaining its strength through the river of time. This way, the threat spring autumn cicada has been alleviated. Fang Yuan laughed even louder, his eyes shining brightly. He looked around again. This was evidently still the blessed land. He was stepping on Wang Xiao, and there was a corpse beside him. It was Yun Clan's young clan leader Yun Luo Tian. He was killed by Bai Ningbing, and his corpse was sent over by expending immortal essence. Thinking of Bai Ningbing, Fang Yuan's laughter stopped, unable to laugh anymore. It was this guy, planning for so long and finally betrayed him, causing Fang Yuan to fail. Even though he succeeded in refining second aperture goo, falling into deep despair. If not for spring autumn cicada and his good luck, Fang Yuan would have completely lost. Regardless of death or captivity in Demon Suppression Tower, he would have no opportunities left in life. Demonic path was like this. It was like walking on tightrope. One step was all it takes for destruction. Falling into the abyss, with no hopes of ever getting back up. I was simply too careless, thinking about Feng Jin Huang and wanting to refine an immortal goo. I ignored the true demon that was hiding near me. But this Bai Ningbing's acting was also convincing, planning for so many years, working so hard to numb my senses, and then giving me the final blow. Hey, I am still immortal. I am not an invincible god. Thinking of this, Fang Yuan's mouth was bitter. Fang Yuan was improving and growing ferociously. Bai Ningbing was the same. This was the harshness of reality, and also the beauty of fate. In this world, everyone was a main character. But everyone was also a side character. Everyone has their own advantages. Bai Ningbing has the northern dark eye soul physique. Tai Ruan-Nan has her Tai clan background. Feng Jin Huang gained an immortal goo in her dreams when she was 3 years old. As for me, I struggled for hundreds of years, cultivating bitterly until I refined the spring-autumn cicada. Fang Yuan thought about this, and his emotions surged again. He smiled brilliantly and recited. Viewing thousands of mountains and deep crimson layers of trees dyed red on the limpid blue water, hundreds of barges race against currents, hawks spread their wings, and the vast skyfish swim freely under deep water. All living things vie for freedom under the autumn sky. Pondering over the immensity of the universe, I asked this boundless and misty earth who rules the fate of this world. If heavens had emotions, it would grow old. The great Tao is emotionless and impartial. Every living being has the chance to rise up. It depends on how one uses their opportunities and how one fights. In this world, no one is born to be a side character. And there is no one who is an eternal main character. Living beings compete. The weak are eliminated. Precisely because of the heroes competing in this world, facing off with their respective strengths and trump cards, can history be so immense and interesting, making the world such a mystical place. Thinking so, the bitterness, hatred, shock, grief, and joy vanished in Fang Yuan like a trace of smoke. His heart was clear, his demonic resolution shone deeply in his eyes. He started to think calmly. So I rebirthed at this time. According to my previous life's development, I grilled Wang Xiao regarding the path towards Wu Mountain, but he did not tell me even after dying. I had no choice and had to kill him, using the beast's strength placenta goo to devour his and Yun Luo Tian's apertures. Fang Yuan was solemn, his expression like ice, as he recalled in his mind what was about to happen. Next, I spent a lot of effort, exposing the spring-autumn cicada to convince the land spirit. Next, I killed killer ghost Dr. Chojio, Wu Shintong, and Zhang San San. I unexpectedly obtained a slavery goo from Zhang San San, and was about to continue killing people when an accident occurred. I had no choice but to interfere and kill Long Qing Tian, but because of the Jade Sky Goo poison, I had no gains. Next, I refined Goo, defended the hall, and got betrayed by Ning Bing. Fang Yuan's mind worked like lightning, almost instantly recalling the previous life as his eyes squinted into a line, subconsciously clenching his fists tightly. The situation is really perilous. With his rebirth, Fang Yuan looked at the situation clear as day. His previous life's carelessness became this life's alertness. Firstly, Bai Ningbing already knows about the details regarding the refinement of the immortal Goo. She had secretly cooperated with Tai Ruan-nan. Tai clan had to be prepared long ago that Tai Bai-chi might have already hidden himself in San Cha Mountain, ready to strike at any moment. The enemy is hidden while I am exposed. This is not good. Next, during the last few days of refinement, Xiao Meng would arrive here. The unexpected Mo Wu Tian would also join in with his new rank 5 cultivation. In his previous life, Fang Yuan killed several demonic heads, causing the demonic faction to have no leader. Mo Wu Tian's arrival easily overturned that as he gathered the demonic path strength using his rank 5 cultivation. It could be said that because of him, it hastened the outside experts' attack on the hall. The enemy is strong while I am weak. That is even worse. Lastly, the most severe point. Fang Yuan raised his left arm. In his previous life, he was kept in the dark, but now he knew. Bai Ningbing had secretly planted the fixed star Goo on him, on this forearm. Once the Tai clan's 4 old-timers used the infinite search and lock, he would have no way to escape, captured even if he ran to the edge of the world. Now that I think about it, Tai clan did not move earlier because first, I killed Tai Mubai. And that situation greatly exceeded their expectations. Secondly, they want to reap the benefits from others' conflict, attaining the fruits of victory without loss. Thirdly, they are extremely vigilant. Although infinite search and lock can restrict rank 5 Goo worms, it could be resisted in other ways. What if they arrested me but did not find the young Goo? Thus, because of this, they kept it as a final trump card. Fixed star Goo was secretly planted. Fang Yuan was now like a fish in the net. He could not escape. It was almost a hopeless situation. Author's note: this book is the realization of my dream these 6 years. Thus it contained many things and is different from other books. One point especially, that is Fang Yuan, the main character, is able to fail. Demonic Path was never about winning every battle. Demons lose too. If I do not write out the failure, I would not be able to represent the true nature of demonic. Any risk has a price to pay. If one day, in the event Fang Yuan's death would make the book more interesting, or even elevate it to another level, then I would write him to death. That is also the tragedy of the demonic path. Chapter 400. Life is but a few hundred years, it is all a grand gamble. Fixed star Goo. This is like a rope tied around my neck. Although I have methods to get rid of it, I need a lot of time to prepare. If I want to immediately get rid of the fixed star Goo, unless Bai Ningbing took it back personally, otherwise, I can also chop off my left forearm. Fang Yuan's heart was burning with this urge. Fixed star Goo was hiding in Fang Yuan's forearm. Once he discarded his forearm, Tai clan's 4 old-timers would only be able to retrieve his broken limb. If he did that, Fang Yuan would lose a limb. He would have to treat it in the future, making a broken limb grow back, creating something from nothing. It would spend a lot of effort, not mentioning how troublesome healing would be. The thing now was once he loses his left arm, it would be alerting his enemies. Tai clan and Bai Ningbing would immediately realize that Fang Yuan knew what was going on and would immediately start their attacks. That way, the attackers of the main hall would also include Tai clan and Bai Ningbing. To Fang Yuan. Such a situation was worse than the previous life. I cannot alert them prematurely. I was lucky to rebirth, compared to last time. My only advantage is that I know what is going to happen. I have to go with the flow, since Tai clan and Bai Ningbing are still usable to me now. Once I lose my arm, not only would Tai clan be forced to go against me, the situation will also change and derail from the tracks of my previous life. I would lose my rebirth advantage completely. But if he did not get rid of his arm, how would he get out of this situation and counterattack under such dire circumstances? Fang Yuan pondered. All sorts of people, incidents, cause and effect flickered in his mind. Wang Xiao, Chou Jiu, Wu Shentong, Zhang Sansan, Long Qing Tian, Xiao Meng, Tai Ruan-nan, Bai Ningbing, Mo Wu Tian, Yinjun, Feng Tianyu. Slavery Goo, Jade Sky Goo poison, Land Spirit, Bronze Hall, Immortal Essence, Fixed Star Goo, Second Aperture Goo. Undefeated 100 battles go. Numerous choices give birth to unlimited possibilities. Infinite possibilities affect each other. Fang Yuan's mind worked rapidly. All sorts of inspiration and scenarios happened in his head like lighting a flint in the darkness. What should he do to protect himself while maintaining the biggest benefits? He thought and thought, expending his mental energy. In just a little bit of time, his ears were buzzing. Wait. Suddenly, Fang Yuan's body shook. Maybe take a step backwards, and the sea and sky becomes wider? Should I consider this from a wider perspective? An absurd thought appeared in his head. No way, if I do this, the risks are greater. He shook his head, muttering as he denied this idea. But this thought was rooted in his head. It continued to influence him. If I do this and manage to succeed, my gains will be overwhelming. Fang Yuan's eyes shone brilliantly, but the next moment, he shook his head again. If there is even an inch of calculation mistake in this plan, I will be completely finished. The consequences would be worse than falling into Tai Ruannan's hands. The spring-autumn cicada has already been used. I cannot use rebirth again for a while. As he thought, Fang Yuan's gaze became solemn and deep. Suddenly, he laughed lightly. To think that I, a great demonic leader in my time, am being so careful and worried now. Afraid to execute my plans. As long as there is hope, I should be brave enough to do it. Only an overwhelming benefit can cause me to go forward relentlessly. Fortune and risks come together. Why should I go slow and steady to build my foundation? I want to ascend to heaven in one step. That's right. This is the plan. Death without a proper burial if I fail, fly into the sky like a dragon if I succeed, and pave the way for my future plans. Hee, ha ha ha. Life is but a few hundred years, it is all a grand gamble. Little Beast King, don't be rash. We can talk this out. You want the path into Wu Mountain. We can negotiate this, it can be discussed. Wang Xiao underneath his feet begged. Fang Yuan laughed at times, remained solemn at times, frowned at times, and went back to laughing happily at times. He scared this rank 5 Gu master, the Lord of Wu Mountain, a great demonic expert to death. In Wang Zhao's heart, Fang Yuan was a maniac, a mentally ill person. Demonic path is extreme. Without a clan's support, cultivation is difficult. At times they struggled at death's door. They face great mental pressure. It is not uncommon for demonic Gu masters to develop mental illnesses, especially when Fang Yuan talked to himself sometimes, or even made poems for himself. It intensified Wang Zhao's worries. Against a normal person, he had his ways to deal with them. But dealing with a madman, even a Gu immortal has no confidence. Oh? You plan to tell me Wu Mountain's entrance? Fang Yuan frowned, looking at Wang Xiao. Of course, but you have to let me off. Wang Xiao saw a reaction from Fang Yuan and shouted anxiously, "Umph." Fang Yuan's gaze became sharp, pressing with his feet, and with a crack, Wang Zhao's head was smashed to bits. Wang Xiao was a great expert, devious and cruel, cold and emotionless. To get him to say the correct entrance into Wu Mountain, Zhang San's rank 5 slavery Gu was needed. But in Fang Yuan's new plan, Wang Xiao had been discarded. There is no need to waste time talking to him, thus he was directly killed. A pity for Wang Xiao, the Lord of Wu Mountain, yet he died so pathetically in Fang Yuan's hands. After killing Wang Xiao, Fang Yuan took his Gu and used Beast Strength Placenta Gu, devouring his and Yun Luo Tian's apertures. This way, Beast Strength Placenta Gu's aptitude is 83%. In terms of immortal essence, we spent a little bit more than expected, slightly exceeding 2 portions. But Gue, you want me to stop? Fang Yuan suddenly said. Land spirit? Eh? How did you know my thought? Of course I know. Fang Yuan snorted, leaking the spring-autumn cicada's aura. Ba Gue, have a feel. What do you think this is? The land spirit was speechless. This is the aura of a rank 6 immortal Gu. It seems to be the spring-autumn cicada. Spring-autumn cicada is the 7th mysterious Gu in this world. You are a mere mortal. How can you possess such an immortal Gu? In his past life, Fang Yuan spent a lot of time talking to Ba Gue, eventually failing to convince it, thus gambling and revealing his greatest trump card, convincing the land spirit. This time, Fang Yuan revealed spring-autumn cicada's aura from the start and went straight to the point. Ba Gue, I will not lie to you. I am a future Gu immortal, using the spring-autumn cicada to rebirth myself into the past. What? Land spirit was shocked beyond words. The information was too great. It could not accept it so readily. Fang Yuan's expression was arrogant. I came back from the future. I know everything. Ba Gue, I am your next master. I succeeded in refining the 2nd aperture Gu in my previous life. Fang Yuan spoke. In his last life, he convinced the land spirit, but now he had the knowledge of the future, as well as the experience of refining second aperture goo as evidence. The land spirit was quickly convinced. Young man, you really are my future master? Listening to your words, it seems you really succeeded in refining second aperture goo. Regardless of whether you are lying to me, I am exhilarated, because this means the success of second aperture goo has been raised by 30%. Land spirit said happily. Enough trash talk, Ba Gue. I came from the future. I know the dangers that are lurking. First, I need to kill a person. A moment later, Long Qing Tian died by Fang Yuan's hands. In his last life, this Long Qing Tian went into a weakened land and used the Jade Sky Goo, poisoning the blessed land and forming a loophole, causing great damage to the blessed land, and also causing Fang Yuan a lot of trouble. This time, Fang Yuan struck immediately after rebirth. Before Long Qing Tian entered that weakened area, he used the heavenly power to restrict him and easily killed him. Young man, I am starting to believe you. You killed a dangerous threat prematurely. Sai, the three kings modified the blessed land. My control over this land is not strong anymore. You could sense this danger and have the spring-autumn cicada. You really came from the future, land spirit exclaimed. Fang Yuan sighed. Land spirit was old and dying. It was like a dying old man. It could not compare to a young land spirit. For example, it could not even detect the fixed star goo on Fang Yuan's arm. Fang Yuan did not waste time with the land spirit. He worked quickly, taking Long Qing Tian's goo worms and devoured his aperture. In his previous life, because of the Jade Sky Goo poison, Fang Yuan could not take the battle loot after killing Long Qing Tian. But this time, he acted early and Long Qing Tian could not use his goo, thus Fang Yuan had no restrictions. After looting Long Qing Tian, Fang Yuan gained several useful things. Other than the aperture, his greatest loot was Jade Sky Goo. This goo was like a dark green bamboo stem, palm-sized and hollow in the middle. It gave off a smooth texture when held in one's hands, like a piece of jade. Rank 5 Jade Sky Goo originated from the immemorial era. It was extremely rare now. It had an extremely strong poison, and there was barely any ways to deal with it. It could easily poison a person to death, causing them to fade into a green light. This goo had great use. Fang Yuan kept it carefully. By Gue, quickly transfer me to this place. The next moment, Fang Yuan appeared in front of the demonic enslavement pathmaster, Zhang San. Zhang San had not even reacted before Fang Yuan attacked, ending his life. Fang Yuan killed and plundered the aperture. It was the same thing again, causing the beast strength placenta goo's aptitude to rise again. Zhang San was a rank 4 goo master, but had a rank 5 slavery goo. Fang Yuan's greatest motive for killing him was this goo. With another flash, Fang Yuan appeared in front of killer ghost Dr. Chojio. Eh? Little Beast King. How did you? Chojio saw Fang Yuan and was taken aback, his expression extremely shocked. Fang Yuan's expression was plain as he used the rank 5 slavery goo. The slavery goo exploded into a yellow light, landing on Chojio. Chojio shouted. F***CK. Rank 5 slavery goo. You can kill me but not humiliate me. You want to enslave me. You were dreaming. He did not know that in the previous life, he begged Fang Yuan to use slavery goo, with the land spirit to suppress him. Chojio could not use goo worms. The slavery goo was easily planted on him, but to control a rank 5 goo master, it was not so easy. It was a contest of souls. Chojio resisted with all his strength. Fang Yuan's soul trembled as he entered a stalemate. Chojio sneered, his forehead full of sweat. Little Beast King, you are too naive. For an enslavement path goo master, the soul's foundation is most important. The higher the better. It is not easy to control wild beasts, not to mention men. Man is the spirit of all beings. You want to control me who is a rank higher. It is wishful thinking, hee. Ah. Chojio screamed in pain, as his smug laughter was terminated by Fang Yuan's slap. With this interference, the contest of souls tilted towards Fang Yuan's advantage, as the yellow light merged into his body. As long as it is fully merged, Chojio would become Fang Yuan's most loyal slave.